Wealth Chats. And I'm very excited because today we are talking about psychological safety. And we have got the lovely Natalie Wells with us. Hi, Natalie. How are you?
I'm good, Claire. Thank you for having me.
Well, thank you so much for being here. And the first question I have for you, Natalie, is whereabouts are you based?
So I'm in the southwest, the UK, in the Cotswolds. So
Oh,
a location.
exciting. Not too far from me in Bristol, so that's brilliant.
Not at
So,
all. No, not
no,
at all.
not at all. So, can you just tell us about your experience and why I've chosen you for this topic of psychological safety?
Yeah, thank you. Well, I work with business owners who are looking to grow their businesses. So I'm often introducing them to, say, their first commercially focused finance director.
Yeah.
I'm now in my third decade of recruiting finance professionals. My business is in its 8th year of trading. And prior to that, I was a director in a large corporate recruitment company.
Wow. Excellent. So you would have seen with all of your clients and with your experience how psychological safety is so significant in the workplace. So tell us, why is psychological safety so significant in the workplace?
You're right. My experience of interviewing absolute thousands of finance professionals over 27 years has meant that I've had a really privileged insight in terms of what makes people thrive and some of the reasons why they disengage and want to change. And I think I've taken that feedback, and so when I'm consulting business owners, help guide them in that respect. So psychological safety, I mean, it's huge. Creating that team environment where people feel comfortable sharing their thoughts, ideas without fear.
Yeah.
Because when employees feel that they can speak up, take risks, or even admit mistakes without worrying about judgment, it just leads to better collaboration and more creative solutions. Have you come across Maslow's hierarchy of needs?
Yes, yes, I talk about that a lot when I'm working with my clients. So
Yeah.
tell us your interpretation.
Well, I think it really relates quite closely. So, that psychological safety, it helps fulfill that need for belonging.
Yes, the love and belonging. Yes.
So people want to feel like they can turn up like their authentic selves and be part of the team.
Yeah.
Um, in fact, when I mean, I had no intention of setting up my own business, if I'm honest. But where that idea originated from, it's probably quite classic of many a working mother. I found myself in that situation where when I was turning up at my workplace, I felt like I had to behave like I didn't have a family. And then when I was at home, I had to behave like I didn't have a career. And there's
Yeah.
only so long I think you can continue like that before you think, well, this just isn't me. This isn't authentic.
Yeah.
Um, and so that sense of connection
Yes.
started waning.
Yeah. I love that, and I love your honesty because we want to be authentic. And what I find in the coaching that I do on positive intelligence is that people are a lot more authentic and open and honest. And it really does help open up communication where people feel safe. So what I'd love to hear from you is what management practices have you found, the clients that you deal with, that actually foster an open and honest, psychologically safe environment?
I think there's a few really effective practices, really.
Yeah.
Active listening has got to be up
Yes.
there. Leaders that genuinely listen to what their team is saying.
Mm.
Uh, Shows that their employees' input really matters. It counts. Again, that breeds that sense of belonging,
Mm.
um, and that ability to come up with creative ideas
Yeah.
without necessarily knowing whether they're going to be successful or not.
Yes.
It's just simply good business practice. And I think that's something important to highlight. You know, psychological safety in the workplace is not just something that's nice to have. It just makes good business sense. There's a strong commercial motive. It breeds success. It builds knowledge in the teams, and because of that sense of belonging as well, it aids staff retention. You
Yes.
want to be that team that
Yes.
people want to join, and
Yeah.
once you're in that team, you don't want to leave. I've got a great can I share a story about one of my clients?
Definitely. I was just thinking about a story about one of my clients, so I want to hear about your client.
I've got a fabulous business owner I work with. He's an ideas guy, very entrepreneurial, and he just has no fear over trying something, not knowing whether it's going to be successful or not. And that just I started working with him about 5 years ago. The turnover of the business was about 22 million at the time. He'd actually got that far without a finance director.
Wow.
But when we introduced that finance director, because he was an ideas guy and he allowed that FD to get really creative with the solutions, within 6 months, they'd actually set up a new company. And within the first year, that company had generated 10 million turnover. And now, 5 years on, they're actually an AIM-listed PLC at 100 million turnover. And it doesn't matter what level you're at in that organisation. He makes you feel special because he has a genuine interest in having a relationship. Now, that's obviously going to grow and morph as that business grows.
Yeah.
The foundations are there. And so all the people that have joined the company since are used to this sort of environment where you can speak up if you've got a better idea or something more creative to solve the problem. I think coming back to having a genuine interest in people. At the other end of the scale, I work with a very large company, about 2,000 employees, and the CEO there he has very strong values, good moral compass, and of course, you know, FTSE 100s, as many companies do these days, will have a strong D&I agenda. Well, he's genuinely from the heart. So an example that I think that breeds good psychological safety is that he, as CEO, you know, invited some individuals from underrepresented minority groups on an individual level to come and have an hour one-to-one chat with him, so he could get himself educated as to what it's really like to be from a minority group working in his organization that he's running. And I think that's really powerful, because in his position, he could so easily have delegated that to middle management to go and do the research and come back with a one-pager. But by actually having the one-to-ones, hearing it straight from the horse's mouth, so to speak, again, encourages that sense of belonging. That experience will be shared with their colleagues, and again, just breeds that culture of a secure, safe environment where you can speak and have your voice heard.
It's amazing. Both of those examples I absolutely love. And what I love about it is, by the sounds of the culture, people are feeling relaxed, so they can be more creative, and therefore they can speak up, they can say what they want. And if we're relaxed, we're going to be more creative and more productive and more successful. So that's absolutely brilliant. I love those examples, and it's all about the culture when it comes down to it. So from what you've said, Natalie, is leaders should be prioritizing psychological safety. It's so, so key. So how can leaders prioritize psychological safety, similar to what you've said, but a little bit more, so that they actually motivate their teams?
Mm-hmm. I think it's worth pointing out that leaders can enhance psychological safety while still pushing for high performance, and they do that by balancing empathy with clear expectations. It's not an either or. It's about maintaining those high standards, but making sure that the team feels supported along the way. I think I've got a personal experience of this one, actually. I think one of the most impactful things I think leaders can do is to be willing to be vulnerable themselves and share their challenges. Because I think when managers admit their own mistakes or share that they don't always have the answers, I think it signals to the team that it's okay to take risks and learn from failure. And I think it reminds me of my one of my managers, Bev Nicholas. She was quite early in her management career when she came and led our team. But up to that point, I am like a reformed perfectionist. I really struggle with the grey and the elements of recruitment that you can't control. But she was probably the first manager I'd had who showed up as her authentic self and actually taught me it's okay to be human, and
I love that.
And no one is perfect, and just to relax.
Yes.
I was very highly strung.
Oh, bless. I had a manager similar to that who said, just put your hand up if you make a mistake. We all make mistakes. And it just made me breathe when she said that. It was fantastic.
Well, I just lived in fear of making one. I think it's Arianna Huffington. It said that failure is not the opposite of success. It's part of it.
Oh, it is. Definitely. I love that.
And I think we hear it said a lot about, you learn from your failures, etc. But I think in recruitment, we're always taught that, those failures are going to be quite costly. And so it's a very fine line with actually living and breathing that notion that you can make mistakes, learn and grow, and it actually breeds success as well.
It does. Oh, you're being so fantastic and so insightful. So thank you so much, Natalie, for all your wise words. And I'm sure there's a lot of people out there who would love to get in contact with you. So where can people find you?
Oh, lovely. My website's nataliewellsrecruitment.uk, or in your place on LinkedIn.
Fantastic. So thank you very much for your insights and take care.
Lovely. Thanks, Claire. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.